What's up, Ravens fans? It's a very happy place around here this week after the 23-0 victory over the Green Bay Packers. Right now, the Ravens are in the driver's seat to get themselves back to the playoffs, and that's where we'll start this week's episode of the Mailbag. The first question today comes from Hassan Zakai. The question is, with the Buffalo Bills having to face the Patriots twice and possibly starting Nathan Peterman again, who is our biggest competition for the final wild card spot?
Well, I love to play this game. I love to look at all the different contenders and their schedule ahead and plan out wins and losses.
Win, loss. Yeah,
I know
my
that favorite games to play.
Play it all season long. Yeah.
Started week 1. And when I do it right now, the team that I think has a chance to contend with the Ravens the most is the Cincinnati Bengals. And I know that sounds crazy because I think everybody kind of ruled the Bengals out early in the season. But they're only one game behind the Ravens right now, and I think they have a softer schedule than the Buffalo Bills do. Then you look at the AFC West. I think the Oakland Raiders have a tough schedule from here on out. It's going to get difficult for them. So the Bengals, I think, could linger, which could set up a very interesting Week 17 game, a rematch of the Week 1 game, which the Ravens dominated, shut them out, 5 turnovers. This time it's going to be in Baltimore, and that game could have a ton of meaning.
You know, the other team I keep an eye on is the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, they've won 4 or 6.
Yeah, they're hot right now. They have a veteran quarterback, and when they get going, they have a potent offense. So I think that there's somebody to watch out for as well.
Yeah.
All right, the next question, this one comes from Tone Dash, and the question is, who do you think will be Joe Flacco's main target for the rest of the season as the Ravens try to make that playoff push? Well, if we're just talking strictly targets in terms of who he's going to throw the ball the most to, I think that's Danny Woodhead.
Yep.
You know, that was the case yesterday. Danny Woodhead only played 13 snaps. He was targeted 6 times. So the Ravens are going to look to him a lot over the course of the season. I think that's going to continue to be the case. Now, if you're talking wide receiver, the guy who I think is probably going to be a huge piece of this passing offense is Jeremy Maclin. I know it was Mike Wallace who had the big catch, the one-handed snag for the touchdown against Green Bay, but I really think that they're going to look to Maclin more and more. Maclin has more targets, more receptions this year, 31 compared to 24 for Wallace. So I think that Macklin's going to be that go-to guy, and I've talked about this before, that intermediate passing game, like kind of the 15 to 20-yard range, that is where I think that's a secret kind of sauce for the Ravens as they look to get this offense in sync, and that's where Maclin thrives. I would throw that, throw to him over the middle of the field 5-6 times a game in that range, and I think that's going to be a big piece of this offense.
Yeah, I agree with you. Our last question comes from Mestizo Messi, and the question is, do you think the Ravens offense will be better next week on Monday Night Football? Yes, I do. I mean, with the return of Danny Woodhead, I don't think it produced as much of a result or a game-changing result for this offense as we had hoped for. The offense still struggled at times. They didn't capitalize on all the defensive turnovers, but they got the job done. And I think that they have room to grow still on offense. Like you said, I think that intermediate passing game can still make improvements. But let's not forget, Ronnie Stanley was missing from this game, your franchise anchor left tackle. And the Ravens still performed pretty well on offense. Adequate, I would say. It was winning football.
Yeah.
So I think once they get Ronnie Stanley back on the field, that offensive line gets that gelling back together. I mean, they were playing pretty well before Stanley went down. I think once that offensive line is back intact, then they can take the next step on offense.
I mean, I think the big thing here is that we're all excited about that Monday Night Football game coming up at M&T Bank Stadium against the Houston Texans. We've been talking about this forever. We wanted one of these games, and we're going to have it now. Yep. So, as always, we love to hear from you guys. Send in those questions every single week using the hashtag RavensMailbag. That's it for us today. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.